Oxford Learner's Dictionary. A psychopath is a person who has a serious personality disorder that involves not caring about other people's feelings, not feeling sorry when they have done something bad, and wanting to be violent or cruel to others. Are psychopaths born? I know that you have heard of this famous saying that psychopaths are born. Indeed, psychopathy has been associated with genetic predispositions. In psychopathy, the amygdala, a part of the brain that controls how a person responds to potentially harmful or scary situations, is thought to be dysfunctional. This is clearly shown when psychopaths are watching murder and bloody scenes. Instead of being uncomfortable and disturbed by everything, they are, in fact, calm and may even laugh at the scene. This area of the brain also aids in controlling emotions. Psychopaths have been found to have modifications to the structure and operation of specific brain regions, including the prefrontal cortex, temporal cortex, and paralimbic structures, which function at a lower level. Sometimes, this causes them to experience odor-related issues. Their ability to distinguish between various odors declines, with increasing psychopathy scores on the standard tests. However, the environment is thought to contribute as well to some extent. How to spot psychopathy in children. Children who exhibit callous unemotional traits, lack of empathy and guilt, shallow emotions, are more likely to grow up to be psychopaths. These kids tend to engage in aggressive and antisocial behavior, such as bullying. They are also less likely to recognize a frightening look and are less likely to react to socially rewarding stimuli, like pleasant expressions. Teenagers that exhibit early traits of psychopathy, like lack of empathy, may also be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. They are also less likely to make lifelong friends, since they cannot find delight in these bonds. Social relationships. Psychopaths are typically unable to establish true emotional connections with others. They tend to form superficial bonds that they later use to their benefit. And despite the obvious harm they cause, psychopaths never regret their actions. They typically create a symbiotic or parasitic connections and can be almost compulsively ordered while maintaining the appearance of normalcy in their social interactions. So what really makes these people enjoy manipulating others? It turns out that dopamine, a chemical that awakens our brain's reward centers, is overproduced and overvalued in the brains of psychopaths. Why do psychopaths think that influencing others will make them feel good? Their dopamine receptors go into overdrive, providing them with motivation and considerably enhancing their desire to get their own way. Their life in crime. When committing crimes, psychopaths typically do so in a method that poses the least risk to themselves. They will meticulously plan their offenses to avoid detection and have backup plans ready for any eventuality. Due to their inability to empathize, psychopaths do not experience regret for their behavior. Psychopaths are prevalent among serial killers. Career paths. According to a 2013 Oxford scholar, Kevin Dutton's study, some occupations draw psychopaths. They arrive in large numbers to fill open positions as police officers, attorneys, and doctors. CEO is the most noteworthy occupation for a psychopath. They love their occupations and make an effort to win others' respect and trust. This is due to the fact that while not being able to feel them, they are highly adept at mimicking human social emotions. Thanks to this, they can masterfully manipulate people's behaviors. Highly positive attitude. An interesting fact about these people is that psychopaths typically provide 100% effort. Since they are so motivated by rewards, they have a very strong positive attitude. Instead of concentrating on the potential downside, they emphasize on the potential upside, which drives them to exert more effort because they only perceive the benefit. If things don't work out their way, they may go to extremes. Short concentration span. One of the less well-known characteristics of a psychopath is a short attention span, which can manifest in ways that are comparable to ADD, or ADHD symptoms. Psychopaths are constantly searching for more exciting or amusing things to do or see, since they are easily bored with mundane activities, tasks, and people. They may also experience a sudden loss of interest in objectives, undertakings, or connections that had previously been highly essential to them. This may also be related to a history of making careless decisions or quitting commitments or initiatives before they are completed. Twisted minds. Psychopaths frequently have abnormal thoughts because of the way their brains are wired. As a result, they might say or see things that are weird, strange, or off-putting in casual interactions. A psychopath may also occasionally give a startling glimpse into their surprising minds when they discuss odd things they enjoy, make hurtful remarks about other people, or make it apparent that they don't care about other people. Compulsive liars. Pathological lying is a trait that many psychopaths exhibit. They could embellish the truth to forward their agenda, boost their ego, or influence others to think, feel, or act in a certain manner. The majority of people with normal emotions experience remorse, or at least some level of concern when they lie. But for psychopaths, lying is guiltless due to the lack of conscience. Deception is indeed a recognized symptom of psychopathy, and it can even manifest as someone faking regret, empathy, or care and concern for others. Is there treatment? The best therapies for treating psychopathy are those that use many modalities. This means that treatment approaches need to incorporate numerous options, including psychotherapy, development of behavioral skills, and the recognition of the important roles that family, school, peers, and the community play. Patients who do not react to other interventions are typically the only ones for whom medications are advised. This was psychopathy in a nutshell. As we had discussed earlier, people frequently confuse it with sociopathy. So let's look into this entity in more detail. Sociopathy. According to the Oxford Learner's Dictionary, a sociopath is a person who has a mental illness and who behaves in an aggressive or dangerous way towards other people. Are sociopaths made? The word sociopath is used when antisocial behavior is brought on by a brain injury or harmful sociocultural elements, such as parental neglect, peers who engage in criminal activity, belief systems, and upbringing. They are majorly a product of their surrounding environment. They have little conscience. Sociopaths are not all cold-hearted like psychopaths. They do have the ability to feel remorse and guilt, and although empathy and guilt can exist in sociopaths, they usually lack the strength to override their impulsive and erratic conduct. Meanwhile, their connections might sometimes feel normal, at least with those they are close to. Highly impulsive. When a sociopath commits a crime, they may do so on the spur of the moment, and with little thought to the risks or repercussions of their choices. They may easily become agitated and angry, which could lead to violent outbursts on occasion. The likelihood of catching a sociopath rises as a result of these actions. Poor career life. Sociopaths are not usually in a position to keep their jobs. They typically avoid attracting attention to themselves or interacting with coworkers. They prefer to work at the periphery of the society, like selling drugs, where they do not get to interact on a one-on-one basis with people for a long time. Is there treatment? Medication, counseling, or a combination of the two can be used to treat sociopathy. Still, it's crucial to remember that many sociopaths reject treatment because they don't think anything can be done to change their conduct. Some doctors do not advise these techniques to properly cure someone from sociopathy because the harsher medications could result in sociopathy being cured by masking symptoms and reverting to their old selves as soon as the medication is stopped. There are notable differences between the two disorders, psychopathy and sociopathy. how they handle crime, how they are in their careers, and even what their social relationships are like. But we also see that their behaviors can overlap, making it hard to differentiate between the two disorders. And this overlap has caused problems for people over the years. In the childhood era, the two conditions are frequently labeled as conduct misbehavior, and hence, the two are used interchangeably. They also become different as time goes by. Here are some easy examples from the media. Jeffrey Dahmer, from the recent Netflix murder documentary, is a psychopath. He is very meticulous in his plans and is fascinated by death and blood. He has no remorse and lacks empathy. For sociopathy, a clear example is Tommy from the series Power. Tommy is very impulsive and lacks a plan while executing his crimes, and he also feels some remorse when he goes too far. So, what was your favorite bit of information from today's video? Have you had to deal with real psychopaths or sociopaths in your life? Sound off in the comments and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. If you find this information helpful, we're sure you'll enjoy this other video from our channel too. Until next time, we wish you a happy and healthy day. Think for a second about what happens when one of the most important human traits combines with a dark personality, and both merge into a single trait. That's exactly what happens with dark empaths, so it's really common to hear people talk of this personality type as the most dangerous ever. I know it sounds like a scary lot, and indeed, it can be. But today's video will help you put things in perspective, especially when it comes to being able to tell a dark empath and a narcissist apart. Welcome to our channel, where we talk about the journey to self-development. If you're new here, we trust you're going to love this video. And if you're a subscriber, thank you for coming back. Without further ado, here we go. It's really great to have you on with us today, and this video is more of a continuation of what you might call an enlightening series. There are a couple of other videos I did clearing the confusion between narcissism, psychopathy, and sociopathy. But I quickly realized that there was a personality type fewer people were talking about, and thought, why not? It's understandable how very few people know and talk about this, because the term dark empath is relatively new. Unlike narcissism, which sometimes gets thrown around a little too often, and most of the time, erroneously. So while narcissism and dark empathy can seem like the same in one, these are two different traits that must be approached uniquely. I'll also be sharing tips on how you can tell if you're a dark empath later in the video, so stick around for that. And maybe this is your first time ever hearing the term dark empath, and so it's hard for you to understand how such a beautiful thing like empathy can exist side by side in unpleasant adjective. It's kind of sad to admit, but yes, empathy can have a dark side. Like empaths, dark empaths are great at showing affection and care, but in a way that's deeply influenced by manipulation. So this definition in itself helps you see the subtle distinction between dark empathy and narcissism. If you've seen the other videos on narcissism, then you know that narcissists tend to dismiss the feelings of others. Dark empaths, on the other hand, can understand the emotions of others, but the dark empath's end goal is to gain power and control. And that's the exact point where dark empathy and narcissism meet. A narcissist has a heightened sense of self and craves the need to feel superior. A dark empath expresses cognitive empathy, as opposed to emotional empathy, to manipulate or bully, but with the same goal of maintaining power and control. If you're thinking, so does this mean narcissism is a type of dark empathy? Not exactly. Narcissism is more of a core trait of dark empathy, alongside psychopathy and Machiavellianism. So it might be safe to say that all dark empaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are dark empaths. Hopefully, that didn't come out confusing, and if it did, Take a moment to ponder on the statement. Maybe pause the video here and think about narcissism as one of the 3 signs a dark empath is likely to display. Now, you might also be thinking, if both narcissists and dark empaths rely on dominating people, what happens if these people meet each other or manage to develop a connection? First of all, it'll be really hard for a narcissist to get along with their dark empath buddy. We're talking about 2 personalities that thrive on dominance and always want people to do their bidding. So who exactly is going to be willing to bend for the other? Remember that dark empaths have a top-notch level of cognitive empathy and can be very perceptive of the feelings of others, so they'll find it super easy to identify a narcissist and build a relationship for future gains. Think of it as a dog-eat-dog universe, full of manipulation, selfishness, and even charm. They're both interested in taking the lead and want others to succumb to their desires. But if you ask me, between both of them, a narcissist is more likely to display greater ruthlessness simply to have things go their way. Their lack of empathy and excessive arrogance puts them in a position where they're willing to stop at nothing until they have things how they prefer. And I don't mean this to make dark empaths sound less brutal. These people can be just as stubborn too, but their ability to gauge emotions creates a subtle difference. If a dark empath starts to feel guilty for the harm they're causing, they'll likely pull back, but only temporarily. And most likely because they're likely plotting other ways to still get whatever it is that they want. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, please hit that subscribe button for more content about self-development and improving your life. It really helps our new channel, and your kindness will go a long way. Another common trait between narcissists and dark empaths is their love for lies. They've perfected the act so well, it's their second nature. If you've ever been around a narcissist, chances are you've caught them telling lies upon lies, boasting about non-existent achievements, simply to leave you in admiration. In the same way, dark empaths are skilled in fabricating sweet lies to win the victim's compassion, and weaving these false stories comes naturally to them because they know literally everything it takes to thrive as a manipulator. So for both categories, lying is just one of those things they must do to get what they want. We all know someone who tells way too exaggerated tales all the time, or displays false kindness. Notice their other behavioral patterns, and you just might see traces of narcissism or dark empathy. Another thing I think is really important not to leave out of this conversation is charm, as a primary trait of both the narcissist and dark empath. These people tend to be charismatic. They know this and take advantage of this to draw people into their manipulative schemes. One of the topmost behaviors that attract victims to narcissists and dark empaths is their confidence. You might be excited about being friends with this charming, charismatic person. Meanwhile, they're simply out to use you. Surprisingly, a dark empath and a narcissist can end up being an ideal match. I mean, one person wants to be constantly adored, while the other possesses enough patience and compassion to deliver these praises, although pretentiously. The narcissist is more likely to get more out of the relationship, but in the end, toxicity kills whatever attraction there was. They figure their opponents in the same game, and everything else crashes. Here's something to take away. Dark empaths naturally come off as more invested in relationships compared to narcissists, but this does not change the motivation behind the dark empath's affection. They simply want to gain control in the relationship, and this is often easy because of their high level of emotional intelligence. The dark empath will excel at reading you and understand your perspective. They may even be critical of themselves while at it, but always remember that it's all calculated, and no part of the connection is genuine. It's easy to swiftly notice these signs in others, but what if you're the dark empath in the relationship? You might miss out on traits of dark empathy in yourself because of how subconsciously these signs happen. Honestly ask yourself if you are the person who easily connects with others simply to get them to submit their free will. You enter into relationships with people and are simply too obsessed with getting them to lower their guard. You might also be someone who is terrible at handling criticism and see every correction as a reflection of your person. Dark empaths also sometimes struggle with self-esteem, which can make them resort to bullying or gossiping to get what they want. Something else to look out for is your ability to read people and to understand their thoughts or feelings in a particular circumstance. Of course, this trait can be related to a bunch of other stuff, so look out for it, alongside other signs I've talked about. Whether or not dark empaths can change is an entirely different topic of its own, but I believe that therapeutic interventions always go a long way. As always, feel free to share your thoughts on the topic, and particularly, I'd like to know in the comments if you think you have any time encountered a dark empath. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and if you find this information useful, check out this other video from our channel too. Until next time, we wish you a happy and healthy day. Hey guys, so in the previous video, we discussed narcissism alongside psychopathy and sociopathy, and today, we'll be looking at things from a similar but somewhat different perspective: narcissism versus borderline personality disorder. I understand that learning more about narcissism and all the terminologies and a sea of information can be overwhelming, so I want you to know that you are not alone. If all the new knowledge you've picked up recently is making you feel confused, scared, or even frustrated, it's a two-way thing, because the knowledge can feel empowering and help you understand some of your toxic relationships better. For some people, the facts can feel discouraging because they know their problems now, but are not sure how to approach them. Whether you belong to the first or second category here, the most important thing is that you're taking the first real step, which is gaining insight into the situation of things. Welcome to our channel, where we talk about the journey to self-development. If you're new here, we trust you're going to love this video, and if you're a subscriber, thank you for coming back. Without further ado, let's dive in. So today, we'll try to cover a whole lot of things on the topic, from explaining each of these disorders to talking about if and where they meet, before finally discussing a few possible treatments or solutions. As some sort of bonus, we'll also touch on what relationships between narcissists and those with borderline personality disorder might look like. The reason why we're able to juxtapose narcissism and BPD in the first place is because these personality disorders belong to the same cluster. They share several characteristics and symptoms that make it tough to spot the difference between both. So I thought of a great angle to approach my explanation, and I think this should really be helpful. Rather than the classic methods of simply telling you what traits make each disorder stand out, we'll consider them from a more pictorial standpoint. So, say there's two friends, Ada and George. While Ada deals with borderline personality disorder, George has narcissistic personality disorder. Let's talk about Ada's symptoms and what the experiences may feel like. First of all, she's scared of being unlovable, and this fear makes her seek attention even in places where intimacy is not present. In the lens through which she sees herself, life is only meaningful when close personal connections are present. So there's this deep fear of abandonment. Imagine a fear so deep that it affects her sense of self and is present in her thoughts and reality. Like Ada, people with borderline personality disorder exhibit dependent and clingy behavior and have a shaky sense of identity and self-perception. They might experience episodes of emotional instability or feelings of emptiness or lack of motivation. All of these experiences can trigger self-harming behaviors or suicidal ideations in people with BPD. Now moving on to George the narcissist. In our illustration, we're staring at a person who convinced he stands out, up to the point of superiority. The narcissist may seem composed and overly confident at all times, but most times, this is only because they've managed to believe those heightened qualities that they crown themselves with. When you feel that kind of exaggerated worth, you simply cannot escape having the strong urge to get others to accept this faux perception of you. This belief of being special that narcissists hold on to is built on the foundation that they've designed to help them forget their ingrained fear of worthlessness. So a narcissist will feel insulted by anything that appears to be challenging their self-esteem. And this might seem commendable until you realize that the so-called self-preservation is only meant to maintain that picture of superiority that has been created, rather than address the actual fear lying beneath the surface. A narcissistic George is unlikely to have empathy for others and may harbor feelings of resentment, envy, or revenge. You might also find him bragging about non-existent achievements or trying too hard to dominate conversations and relationships. Narcissists get sensitive in the face of even potential criticism, simply because they feel attacked by anything that appears to be coming after the illusion of superiority they've created. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, please hit that subscribe button for more content about self-development and improving your life. It really helps our new channel, and your kindness will go a long way. Now, the next logical question would obviously be, so where do they meet? How are narcissists and people with BPD similar? The one thing people in both categories struggle with is insecurity. Behind the outward confidence or clinginess, these people have fears strong enough to distort the way they see themselves and others. It's why narcissists and people with borderline personality disorder happen to find themselves in unstable relationships. Abandonment is another word that anyone dealing with any of both personality disorders might be familiar with. The clinginess of someone with borderline personality disorder might be so intense that they unintentionally scare people off. Most people out there are wary of individuals who come into their lives and start to act all familiar and dependent. But that's exactly what you can expect from a person who has borderline personality disorder. Still on the subject of abandonment, narcissists get their own share of the cake, but in a somewhat opposite manner. The narcissist is likely to be the abandoner in this case because they're always on their feet and would prefer to act quickly if they sense abandonment coming. It doesn't matter whether or not their feelings were grounded in truth. Give a narcissist the chance to reinforce their superiority, and they'd grab the opportunity. Isolation is another familiar experience in the world of narcissism and borderline personality disorder. These individuals may spend a huge part of their lives in isolation because they find it challenging to do normal things like keeping a job or building interpersonal relationships. They also struggle with mood regulation and are more predisposed to other challenges like depression and substance abuse. So now, let's talk a little bit about their differences. Narcissists can be exploitative to get what they want and sometimes see themselves above everyone else and even laid down rules. Their lack of emotion is at the core of their choices, unlike people with BPD, who we might say are driven by their emotions. A person with BPD may be just as exploitative, but the difference lies in the motive. Their action is mostly fueled by their desire to connect. Something else to remember is that while the narcissist's biggest fear is to be average, a person with borderline personality disorder is more afraid of being hurt. This means one party steers clear of relationships where they cannot be in control, and the other may avoid making connections if they suspect they wouldn't be protected. You might know someone who has almost every single trait in both lists, so indeed, it is possible for a person to have both narcissism and BPD. Fortunately, BPD and narcissism can respond to prolonged professional care. Of course, it all starts with getting a diagnosis, which can be tough since several personality disorders overlap. Psychotherapy is also a helpful recovery path for people with BPD and NPD, but professionals generally determine the best approaches to follow, depending on what motivates the disordered behavior. Finally, let's talk a little bit about what happens when a narcissist and a person with BPD enter into a relationship or attract one another. You may have noticed that people in these different categories often end up together, and that's mostly because the person with BPD shows up vulnerable. Unfortunately, this is the exact kind of energy that draws the narcissist who simply wants to be in control and adored. They go ahead and do everything in their power to make the other person feel loved, all with the aim of asserting their superiority. At the end, which most times comes too quickly, the true nature of both sides starts to manifest. The narcissist slowly starts to withdraw their attention since they've got what they wanted and no longer have an appeal for it. And because the person with BPD needs that excessive security to maintain connection, the relationship slowly loses its taste before finally crashing. The great thing about understanding how narcissism and borderline personality disorder differ is how helpful your knowledge will be when you need to understand what's going on with a loved one, or even your particular situation. You'll also know what to do and can take things up from there. Thank you so much for watching till the end of this video. So what did you think? Sound off in the comments and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. And if you find this information useful, check out this other video from our channel too. Until next time, we wish you a happy and healthy day. Ever been in a relationship or situation where you feel like you're constantly second-guessing yourself or questioning your own memories and perceptions? It can be a really confusing and disorienting feeling, but I want you to know that it is possible that you're being gaslighted. Welcome to today's episode, guys, where we'll be talking about gaslighting, and specifically, the hidden signs of gaslighting. On this channel, we talk about the journey to self-development and other related topics. If you're new here, we trust you're going to love this video. And if you're a subscriber, thank you for coming back. One good definition of gaslighting that I like to work with is describing it as a form of emotional abuse, where the abuser manipulates their victim into doubting their own perceptions and memories. Gaslighting is a way for the abuser to gain power and control over the victim, and it can be extremely damaging to a person's sense of self and their relationships. Aside from discussing some of these gaslighting signs with you, I'll also share some tricks that you are certain to find useful if you think you're currently being gaslighted, but can't seem to find a way out. Before we begin this conversation about some of the hidden signs of gaslighting, you should bear in mind that these cues might not be immediately obvious, especially if you're in a relationship with the abuser or on the receiving end of gaslighting. But it's important to be aware of them nevertheless, so you can recognize if you're being gaslighted and take steps to protect yourself. An example of a hidden sign of gaslighting is when the abuser denies or disputes your reality. They might tell you that you're wrong or that you're misremembering something that happened, even if you know for a fact that you're not. They might also try to convince you that you're crazy or that your thoughts and feelings are invalid. This can involve denying that certain events happened or saying that your memories or perceptions are incorrect. Remember, the goal of gaslighting is to make the victim feel confused, uncertain, and even crazy, so that the abuser can maintain control and power over them. So, here is a real-life situation of what gaslighting might look like. Imagine you are in a relationship with the abuser, and you have experienced some form of abuse, whether emotional manipulation, physical abuse, or verbal abuse. You try to talk to your abuser about how they make you feel, and they deny that it ever happened. They tell you that you are misremembering, or that you are being overly sensitive. They might even go as far as blaming you for the abuse, saying that you provoked them, or that you are making things up. This is a common tactic used by abusers in gaslighting situations. They try to make you doubt your own reality, your own memories, and your own experiences. They try to make you feel like you are the one who is in the wrong and who needs to change. But the truth is, it's all deception. You are not misremembering, and you are not being overly sensitive. The abuser is the one responsible for the abuse, and they are the ones who need to change. Another common tactic that abusers use when gaslighting is trying to deflect blame or responsibility for their actions. They might try to shift the blame onto you or onto someone else, even when it's clear that they are at fault. This can make you feel like you're constantly being blamed for things that aren't your fault, and then you begin to question your judgment and perceptions. This method of gaslighting often takes many forms, such as the abuser claiming that the victim is overreacting or exaggerating, or that the abuse is actually the victim's fault. For instance, an abuser might say things like, "You're just being too sensitive," or "You're just trying to start a fight." These statements are designed to make the victim feel like they are the problem. Another way abusers might try to deflect blame is by denying that the abuse ever happened at all. They might say things like, "Oh, you're just imagining things," or "That never happened." This can be especially confusing and disorienting for the victim because they start to doubt their own memories and perceptions. It's important to remember that gaslighting is a form of manipulation and control, so the abuser is trying to make the victim feel unsure of themselves and question their own reality. If you find yourself in a situation where blame deflection has become the order of the day, I'm telling you right now that it's not your fault, and you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content about self-development and improving your life. It really helps our new channel, and your kindness will go a long way. One other somewhat hidden sign of gaslighting is when the abuser tries to isolate you from your support system. They might try to convince you that your friends and family are against you, or that they don't really care about you. They might also try to limit your access to these support systems, either by restricting your communication with them, or by monopolizing your time. Abusers do this by discouraging or forbidding their victims from seeing certain people. They might even move them to a new location where they don't know anyone, simply to make it easier for the abuser to control their victim and manipulate them without any outside influence. When a person is trying to isolate you from your support system, it's important to remember that you have the right to have a network of people who care about you and support you. Never let anyone take that away from you, and if you can, reach out to your friends and family and let them know what's going on. They may be able to offer you support and help you come up with a plan to get out of the situation. It's never okay for someone to try and control who you see and talk to. If you're in a gaslighting situation and your abuser is trying to isolate you, don't be afraid to speak up and seek help. Remember that you deserve to be surrounded by people who love and support you. Now, these are just a few examples of the most common hidden signs of gaslighting, and there's a lot more out there that I will probably cover in another video, because gaslighting can be extremely damaging to your mental health and well-being. So it's really important to take steps to protect yourself and get out of the toxic situation. And like I promised earlier on, I'll be sharing some tricks that can help you escape gaslighting and regain control of your reality, because I understand how incredibly disorienting and confusing it can feel. First of all, never forget that you are not alone. Gaslighting can be a very isolating experience, but it's important to reach out to friends, family, or a professional therapist for support. Talking to someone who can help you validate your experiences and give you the perspective you need can be so helpful. You should also try to keep a record of what's happening. Write down the manipulator's words and actions, as well as your own reactions. This can help you see patterns in their behavior and provide concrete evidence if you ever need to confront them or seek help. Another helpful trick is to stay in the present moment and focus on what you're feeling and experiencing right now, rather than getting lost in the manipulator's lies and confusion. Take deep breaths, practice mindfulness, and try to stay grounded in your own reality. And finally, don't be afraid to set boundaries. If you feel like you're being gaslighted, Be extra intentional about protecting yourself and asserting your own needs. This might mean setting limits on communication, seeking outside help, or even cutting ties with the manipulator if necessary. Remember that gaslighting is a form of abuse, and it's not your fault. You deserve to be treated with respect and to live in a reality that aligns with your own experiences and perceptions. I strongly believe that these tricks can help you feel more equipped to escape gaslighting and once again, take control of your life. Thank you so much for watching till this point, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Remember, you are not alone, and there is always help available. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and if you find this information useful, check out this other video from our channel too. See you next time. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode, where we are going to be talking about how to easily tell that someone was raised by a narcissist. Now, before we dive into the topic, I'm just going to go over the concept of narcissism, in case you are yet to see the other videos on the topic, or just really need a better understanding of what it means to be a narcissist, and how it can affect a person's upbringing. Also, I should mention that later in the video, I'll be sharing a few helpful tips to help anyone who is struggling with narcissism navigate their relationships better. Because, in my experience, relationships are one aspect that people raised by narcissists really struggle with, and this ends up affecting the quality of their lives. So I encourage you to watch till the end so you don't miss out on that helpful bit. Welcome to our channel, where we talk about the journey to self-development. If you're new here, we trust you're going to love this video, and if you're a subscriber, thank you for coming back. Without further ado, here we go. Okay, my most basic definition of a narcissist is describing them as someone with an inflated sense of self-importance and an excessive need for admiration. It is really as simple as that, and growing up with a narcissist can be incredibly damaging to a person's development. It can lead to low self-esteem, self-doubt, and a lack of trust in others. Telling if someone was raised by a narcissist becomes pretty simple so long as you know the traits to look out for. The first on my list being a distorted sense of self-worth. Narcissists may occasionally feel like they are not good enough or that they have to constantly prove themselves to others, and it's easy to see why. A narcissist often puts their child down and belittles them to boost their own ego. This child then grows up into an adult with a tendency to overcompensate for their feelings of inadequacy by constantly seeking validation and attention from others, or acting overly confident and trying to impress others, even if it means putting themselves in uncomfortable or compromising situations. Imagine being a child and having a parent who constantly puts their own needs above yours. A parent who belittles you, makes you feel inadequate, or ignores your feelings. This constant invalidation can lead to a distorted sense of self-worth. The child begins to internalize the message that they are not good enough, or that their thoughts and feelings don't matter. For example, they may see themselves as perfect and others as flawed, or vice versa. This can lead to constantly comparing themselves to others and feeling envious or resentful. A person raised by a narcissist is also likely to struggle with setting boundaries or saying no to others. Growing up with narcissistic parents means years of being with adults that were controlling and demanding. Parents that have very high expectations and never seem satisfied with anything you did. They would frequently belittle and criticize, and just always make you feel like you were never good enough. These kids grow up struggling with setting boundaries and standing up for themselves because they were afraid of disappointing or angering their parents, and would often agree to things that they didn't really want to do. The problem with not setting boundaries and not saying no is that it can lead to resentment and burnout. You end up putting other people's needs and wants above your own, neglecting your own well-being. It's always important to be able to say no and assert your needs, but for someone who was raised by a narcissist, this is just too difficult. Similarly, Someone raised by a narcissist may have difficulty expressing their feelings and needs because, in a narcissistic household, the focus is always on the needs and wants of the narcissistic parent rather than the child. Growing up in a narcissistic household also sometimes means ending up as an adult that lacks empathy or struggles to understand the emotions and perspectives of others. This can be due to the lack of emotional support and validation they receive from their narcissistic parents. Narcissists are incapable of showing empathy, and they don't model healthy empathy for their children. As a result, the child may not learn how to empathize with others and may struggle to understand and share emotions outside of theirs. Narcissists often belittle and dismiss their child's feelings, making them feel invalidated and unloved. They use emotional manipulation and gaslighting to control their wards, making the child doubt their feelings and perceptions, which of course results in difficulties trusting their own emotions and the emotions of others. This only means one thing. Someone raised by a narcissist is likely to find it difficult to learn how to form healthy, balanced relationships with others. A narcissistic parent often models unhealthy behavior, such as putting their own needs first, manipulating others to get what they want, and failing to consider the feelings or perspectives of others. This constant emotional manipulation and gaslighting leads the child having a difficult time trusting others, and this deep sense of mistrust in others comes from the fear of being hurt or taken advantage of. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content about self-development and improving your life. It really helps our new channel, and your kindness will go a long way. Another sign to look out for is difficulty communicating, since narcissistic parents often dismiss or invalidate their children's feelings and experiences, making it difficult for them to learn how to communicate openly and honestly with others. This behavior leads to misunderstandings and conflicts in relationships. So it's very important to recognize this communication challenge and seek support in overcoming it, to build fulfilling and healthy connections with others. These individuals are also more predisposed to blaming themselves for things that aren't their fault, because a narcissist often shifts blame and projects their shortcomings onto their child. They are experts at making you feel like you are the one to blame for their problems, and do this through gaslighting, which is when they manipulate you into doubting your reality and perceptions. For example, if something goes wrong, a narcissist may turn it around so that it seems like it's your fault. They might say things like, "You always ruin everything," or "You're so selfish, you never think about anyone else." These types of statements can make you feel like you are the problem, and that it's your fault that things are going wrong. And over time, you start to internalize this belief and blame yourself for things that aren't your fault. But here's something I want you to always remember. It's not your fault. You are not to blame for the actions of a narcissistic parent. You are not responsible for their problems or their behavior. You are a victim of their manipulation, and you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. It's also important to note that not everyone who was raised by a narcissist will exhibit these traits, and not everyone with these traits was raised by a narcissist. But if you notice someone displaying these signs, it may be worth considering the impact their upbringing may have had on their development. So, moving on, how do you work on your relationships if you were raised by a narcissist? How do you snap out of years of being a victim of manipulation and reclaim your life? It always begins with educating yourself about your narcissistic traits and how they can impact your relationships. As much as you can, seek therapy or support groups to work through any trauma or negative patterns that you may have learned from your narcissistic parent. Also, consider practicing self-care and prioritizing your own needs. Narcissistic parents often teach their children to put others
おはようございます。3月11日、波の方は腰から 腹あるかないか、まあ全然サーフィンできるコンディションです。
おめでとう。
平成22年度補正予算では、子宮頸がん予防ワクチン等への接種事業の財政支援、これは1085億円でありますけれども、また1000億円加算をいたしているところでございます。このような対応を講じまして、現金給付と
緊急地震速報です。強い揺れに警戒してください。
の予算になっているところで、
5 seconds, Morty. It'll be
現物給
fine.
付のバランスに努めているところで、
緊急地震速報です。次の地域では強い揺れに警戒してください。宮城県、岩手県、福島県、秋田県、山形県です。今この国会でも揺れを感じています。先ほど
Rick, there's only 10 seconds
国
left to
会
be
の
the
中の揺
hero.
れがまだ続いています。
Your priestess has arrived.
Huh. Oxygen-rich atmosphere. Giant testicle monsters. We'll be fine. Let's party!
Since you command it,
Axe is calling it. It's in the bag.
forward, pet. Good idea. Yes. We ride.
Morty, don't
Good
look now, but
idea.
battle's about to start. Oh my god! No! I ain't ready for this! I didn't do this!
It's in the bag.
On track. As you will it. Agreed.
All right, now it's on, baby. Oh, jeez!
Forward by bounds.
You're okay.
Of course.
First blood.
Blood is on the ground, and we're already looking for more.
Skyrath risk a fall from starry heights.
Leap forward. To the battle.
They die by our hand, not yours.
Good idea. Since you command it. We ride. As you will it. Such power is ours. Leap forward. Forward by bow.
Oh, that motherfucker hurts, dude.
Cower before us. On the prowl. Yes.
Wait, don't eat one yet.
On track. Good idea.
Get out.
Forward, pet. To the
I can
back.
do that again for you.
We will not forget this.
Agreed. Of course. Good idea. Agreed. As you will it.
Oh, come on. The middle tower's under attack.
Forward by bounds. Forward, pet. Since you command.
This battle is far from over.
All I do in turn.
We ride in perfect. We ride.
Oh man, what? Get up on out of here, cause
On the
Radiant just
prowl.
fortified their structures.
Good idea. On track. The prize is mine. To the battle. Yes. Denied. Leap forward. Yes. Of course. Since you command it.
To die in our hand is an honor.
Never leave lane on 5.
Let's go back to base.
Agreed. Perfect. Forward by bounds. We ride. Good idea. Perfect. Regeneration. Cringy curve.
Never
Yellow
leave
light
lane
down.
on 5.
On the prowl.
No.
The cost of kibble. Forward, pet. Yes.
Oh, Dyer's carrier just got killed.
Of course.
Wow.
On track. As you will it. Leap forward. To the battle. Good idea. Since you command it,
They're TP.
good idea.
There's 4 of them up here.
Stop!
I can go up there.
Strength. Another put down.
Our thanks.
Forward, pet. On track. Haste. To the battle.
They're so annoying.
Of course. As you will it.
Can you start stacking ancients?
We ride. On the prowl. Mother's burn. Yes. Agreed. Forward by bounds.
Morty, middle tower. You might want to look at it. Middle tower's under attack.
Good idea. Forward, pet.
Never leave lane on 5.
Yes.
Oh, jeez, middle tower's under attack.
Perfect.
Oh, jeez, your middle tower's under attack.
Starborn!
Double kill.
Leap forward! I'm under attack. On the prowl.
Man, you might as well save that energy, because Radiant just fortified their structures.
What are you doing?
They took out the enemy's middle tower.
What are you doing? Oh, you scared me.
Is blunted.
I did not know what the fuck you were doing.
Never
That was a strong
leave
sentence, right?
lane on 5.
You serious?
As you will it. You have learned nothing. Catch us if you can.
Easy.
Of course. Since you command it, to the battle. We ride.
Missing bottom.
Agreed. Bottom is missing. You have learned nothing.
Turn your shit off. You're taking all my creeps, bro.
Good idea. The prize is mine. On track. Forward by bounds.
It's level 9. Oh my god.
Never leave lane
This
on
girl's
5.
interesting. Then
Oh,
Since you
middle tower's under
commanded.
attack.
good idea.
Get out.
Killing spree.
I'm under attack.
That force field leads me to believe that Dire just fortified their
Agreed.
structure. Oh boy, your top tower's under attack.
Of course. On the prowl.
Your top tower's under attack.
Yes.
Morty, you're not gonna like this. The top tower is under attack. Oh, sheesh!
As you will it. Good idea. To the battle.
The heat. It's the humiliation.
Good job, guys.
On track. Forward by bounds. Forward, pet. We ride.
Missing bottom.
Leap forward.
Try to push bottom. Try to push.
No, there's Sky Venture.
As you
Sky
will.
Venture. Swap silence. I'm dead.
I'm gonna go with you, okay?
Because they already did it to me once. Oh, yeah.
To the battle.
I'll go with you.
Good. Yes. Yes.
Your top tower's under attack.
Radiant just fortified their structures. You know what I'm talking about?
Since you command.
You gotta get serious. Top tower's under attack.
Hooray! The enemy's bottom tower is destroyed. Hooray!
Good idea. A gift from the night.
We will not forget this.
Run like the. Auto denied. Snuff.
Oh shit.
Invisibility.
Quick moving. You denied your top tower.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Tower's under attack.
Forward,
No,
pet.
stop going without any feet.
Oh, unfortunate.
Of course.
Your bottom tower's under
Agreed.
attack.
Forward by bounds. Yes.
Tether?
Good idea. We ride. Venice.
Where'd he go?
The prize
gotta go
is
bottom.
mine.
Go over here.
Tuck your tail and ride, Max. On the brow.
Leave lane on 5.
Dude, stop spamming
Yes. Starfall. To the battle. Forward, pet.
Thanks.
What are you buying?
Since you command it. Of course. Agreed.
Regeneration.
On track. Start!
Ooh, Dyer, you gotta fortify them their structures. Good work.
Middle is missing.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Whoa! The enemy's top tower got destroyed!
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Cancel your TV, please. Cancel your TV. Oh my god.
Leap forward. Forward by bounds.
The Juggernaut's power is doubled.
Allies disappear.
You told me
As you
after
win.
I had TP'd like 30 seconds before.
Oh, your bottom tower's under attack!
Good idea.
Mega kill!
Oh, yeah, your bottom tower's under attack.
That's staying.
Double kill!
Stop. Rain down upon mine enemy.
You know, Rick, I gotta tell you, my bottom tower looking pretty good.
40, bottom tower under attack.
Whoa! Come on, get with it!
Oh, yeah, your bottom tower's under attack.
Forward, Starfall.
Fuck you, Nina.
Bottom tower is gonzo,
Piece
baby.
of shit mid.
Forward by bounds.
Yeah.
On the prowl. Yes.
Money to burn.
Of course.
Faggot.
To the battle.
Your middle tower is under attack.
You'll not stop us that easily. On track.
This is the real deal! Double kill!
I'm under attack.
Killing spree! Dominating! Ultra kill!
Morty, middle tower. You might want to look at it.
Great! Your middle tower! You can't use that anymore! It's gone!
Whatever you do, don't bother trading in the V6 to help you improve your game.
Again.
You suck
We
too bad.
ride. Good idea. Forward, pet. Good idea. Leap forward.
Tick, 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 tick. Invoker, get back.
Salamene smiles upon me. Tuck your tail and run, you mutt. Forward by bounds.
Well, well, well. Look what the cat drugged in.
Drugged? Is he on drugs?
On the prowl. Bullseye. Yeah, shadows. Take
Oh, jeez, middle tower's under attack!
You know, Morty, it sometimes feels like they don't even care.
Radiant's courier got killed! You know how much stuff he was carrying?
Since you command it.
Oh, come on, the middle tower's under attack!
To the battle. We ride. Good idea. Of course.
Oh, your boss tower's under attack!
What a mess.
Agreed.
You guys want to smoke? I have my Majoner and shit. We could wait a little. Axe needs BKB.
Allies disappear.
I'm running. I'm just TPing, fuck it. Stunner.
Leap forward. Stop! I'm under attack. Forward, pet.
I have no mana for Omni. I have 0 mana.
Good idea.
Oh, jeez, Rick! The top tower's getting hit!
Get back. I have no mana.
Oh, man!
Oh, your top tower's under attack.
On track. Of course. Good idea. On the prowl. Agreed.
Hasted Venge coming top.
Not a penny wasted. Forward by bounds.
I have BKB. We can go.
We will not forget this.
As you will it.
I just need mana. What up, mana boots, do we?
To the
Lena,
battle.
come smoke.
We ride. Yes.
I don't think it's a good idea, but
We have everything.
Since you command it.
Killing spree.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Ah. Yes! Vent. To the battle. Even I'm under attack. Since you command it.
We need a smoke, but I think they're already in red.
We admit no defeat.
Oh, Roshan just got slaughtered by the Dire.
I don't know, man. We're playing so pussy for what?
This fucking Lena's so fucking bad.
Good idea.
We're waiting for Invoker to get a sheep?
Literally
like, what are we waiting
useless.
for? We could just kill them.
Yes.
What? A sheep? What?
Yeah, a sheep, yeah.
On track.
Hello?
Sheep.
Okay. You're brand new, I got.
We ride.
We're strong.
From the axe of axe.
On the prowl.
Come, just run at him.
Agreed.
Ooh, your middle tower's under attack.
Forward, pet.
I need a tether. I need speed.
Oh, middle tower's under attack. Oh, not good. Oh, jeez, your middle tower's under attack.
They have high ground vision up here.
Good idea.
Fucking bad.
As you will it. Of course. As you will it. Good idea.
Close.
Of course. Perfect. Forward, pet. Yes. Leap forward. Forward by bounds. To the battle. On the prowl.
Do not delete.
Since you command,
Sorry, misclick.
from the night.
Misclick, misclick.
Yeah, misclick, yeah.
No, it really was. Yeah, we could smoke.
Agreed.
Just find the sniper.
On track. At last.
I'm value crucial target.
Shadows take us.
They're just hiding triangle all the time. It's great.
We ride.
Not bad.
On the prowl. I'm under. You had no place here. Ah.
Will never beat a warrior's blade.
Forward by balance. Of course.
River up.
Max. Regeneration.
Looks like dire structures are fortified.
Since you command.
I'll fix.
Get back after this, probably. Need to push out bottom and top.
The enemy's middle tower's gone. Serves them right.
As you will it. We ride. The prize is mine. To the battle. Good idea.
Should regroup and go rush. It's gotta be up somewhere.
Agreed. On track. Yes. Good idea. Of course.
Careful.
On the prowl.
River. I need this item and then we go.
Forward, pet.
Double damage.
On track. Good idea. Shadows, take us.
Fight.
To the battle.
They're just never up here. They're always triangle.
We ride.
Back. Force out a bunch of smoke.
Forward by bow.
Looks like dire structures are fortified.
As you will. This grows interest. Agreed.
Keep checking Roche, I guess.
Since
They
you
just
command.
sunstrike Roche.
Don't get this higher top.
Scatter while you can.
Careful, they're
Spoil that shot. I'm under attack. Since you command it. Thanks.
Warding over here.
To the battle.
I use
Agreed.
my charges. Don't get the creeps, please.
Not invoker. Oh, he stopped the sniper! He stopped the sniper!
Forward, pet. Stop!
Whoa! They took out the enemy's top tower! Woo-hoo-hoo! Boy, oh boy! Oh my goodness gracious!
Good idea.
Oh, the enemy's top tower's fallen!
Never leave
Forward by bow.
The enemy's top barracks just got riggedy wrecked, son!
Oh, the enemy's middle tower's gone! Serve them right!
Enemy's middle barracks just got wrecked, baby! Ooh, dire, you gotta fortify them, their structures. Good work.
Yes.
Enemy's middle barracks just got wrecked, baby!
Leap forward. Good idea. Easy shot. Starfall. As you will it. On track.
Take their outpost and go rush.
Learned nothing.
Because we can't high ground versus sniper anyways. It's pointless.
Forward, pet. As you will it. Since you command it.
Illusion!
A gift from the Lord.
Alright, Radiant just wiped out the Roshan guy!
Forward by bounds. For the hunt. Of course. Leap forward. On track. Then.
Mega kill! Double kill!
Agreed. Good idea.
Triple kill!
Good idea. The battle.
Ooh, they took out the enemy's middle tower!
Agreed.
Enemy's bottom barracks are gone.
Oh,
This is all
snap!
damn
You got
prayer.
mega creeps on your corner, homie!
I'll never bow.
Monster kill!
We did it!
Hulu Ad Manager is the easy way for businesses